Today's video is all about the Dark Angels. It's about that potential range refresh, rumors, lore, story, everything for you sons of the Lion. Now, before we jump into this and we really delve into the inner corings and explore everything I want to talk about, I have to give a huge spoiler warning because some of the information that is pairing up with the rumors is coming from the latest Ark of Omen book, The Lion. I've already done a big spoiler video on it, but there's a certain bit in there which is hinting that potentially something could happen. So if you don't want to be spoiled or anything like that, please leave the video right now because this is your first and only spoiler warning. So basically what has happened is that the Dark Angels are having this huge massive void battle. They land on this hybrid Caliban planet. It's an absolute slaughterfest. Like, the Dark Angels have deployed in full along with the Unforgiven chapters, everyone's just killing, purging each other. You have epic characters like Ezekiel, Samael, Asmodai, Azrael, of course, and one of the big ones I want to talk about today is actually Belial. Now, Belial is the master of the Deathwing. For those people who don't know, Belial wears Terminator armor. He looks awesome. I'll put like his model somewhere up right here right now so you can get a sense of what he looks like, but he is an absolute badass. Now, during this battle, we actually get some big lore changes with Belial, and I'm going to put that up in the background now so we can read it all together. Again, just to set the scene, ANGRON has basically returned on the planet. He's absolutely slaughtering everything in sight. Every Dark Angel he comes across, every Unforgiven he comes across, he's literally slapping them aside. So this is, I'm going to put this big chunk here. So it says, a desperate rearguard action by the Deathwing and the best of the chapter's librarians had held back the onslaught long enough for Azrael to pull his main force back into a string of Gothic structures. There he hoped they might weather the heretical storm. The cost had been terrible. Great numbers of Deathwing and librarians had been slain, while Master Belial had been borne away in retreat, mangled by ANGRON's axe, spine grinder, and barely breathing. So that is some pretty big confirmation now that we have Belial, who basically fought ANGRON. ANGRON, being ANGRON, of course, has slapped him aside with his axe, and Belial, it seems to be on the verge of death. Now, we all know what happens when you're on the verge of death these days. They basically don't put you in a dreadnought anymore, because what they can do now with the new treatment, crossing the Rubicon, is bring you back, make you better than ever. It actually happened with the other Dark Angel character whose name escapes me at this moment in time. He was the one who, like, basically got a 40k model. Please, Dark Angel players, help me out in chat. He's like holding his helmet down here and he's got like a sword out and stuff like that. That happened with him, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what I personally think that's going to happen is that this is going to be a narrative story now where Belial actually does cross the Rubicon Primaris to save his life, and he's going to basically get a brand new model. And of course, what that means is that he can now wear the brand new Terminator armor. Because for people who don't know, it doesn't matter if you're a firstborn Marine, if you're a Primaris Marine now. It seems like the rumors were true that the keyword is going away. We've seen some vehicle stuff so far, and there's no mention of like Primaris keywords. It looks like potentially Primaris can get in stuff like Land Raiders and stuff like that, but that's going to be another video for another time because I have a lot more stuff to talk about with that. Like, way more rumors to talk when we get to that front. But what I'm trying to get across in this video is that the Terminator armor now is the brand new armor that's coming out. GW's already previewed it off. It says like Primaris can get in it, Firstborn can get in it, and this makes sense now for Belial to cross the Rubicon to get this brand new model and then also feature in this brand new Terminator scale on the actual battlefield itself. Because the rumors have been stating, the whispers in the warp have been stating to me that the Dark Angels are indeed getting a range refresh. Now, what I keep saying to people when they keep asking me about this is that I don't know when this is coming. This could be next week. It could be next month, next year, 3 years, 5 years, 4 years, right? All I know is that the sources whom I trust have told me that the Dark Angel refresh is coming, and one of the names mentioned in that refresh was Belial. And I thought to myself, before we even got like an inkling of like the Terminators and everything like that, is this what's going to be like the new Terminator scale with like Belial getting a new model, etc., etc. Then GW revealed the Terminators and the rules with the Terminators, stating that it was going to be firstborn or Primaris. So it makes sense now that any character who is currently in Terminator armor now is going to get a brand new model. And I think we're going to be starting with Belial. For me personally, I've had my fingers crossed for Lysander. I would love to see like a brand new Lysander model, but I'm going off track. That's probably going to be my prediction video, which I'm going to be releasing sometime next week. But basically, to get it out there and what all this video is about, they've set up the story, the narrative now for Belial to cross the Rubicon Primaris. He's on the verge of death. He's been mangled by Angron's axe, and now this is going to add, fuel to the fire of the rumors of the Dark Angel range refresh coming. Like I said, Belial. I think another one was Ezekiel and Asmodai also getting new models, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure about Samuel at this point, but what I keep telling people as well on top of that is like, how is this going to look? How is it going to work? Try and compare it to what the Black Templars got. So if you look at that Black Templar range refresh, they got a bunch of new characters that all got done up. Helbrecht, Chaplain Grimaldus. They got a new Marshal, if I'm not mistaken. That looks really, really cool. And also some of their troops, like Sword Brethren and stuff like that. So just try and think on terms of that scale. That is probably going to happen to Dark Angels. They'll probably get a little bit more like vehicle upgrades, just like the Black Templar got. Pauldron upgrades, all that type of stuff. The Dark Angels are a massive collection of a fan base, so I'm sure it will sell fantastically well. I know people are going to ask me about the Blood Angels. We'll talk about that another time. For now, I just want to focus on the Dark Angels because I personally think that's the next big Space Marine range refresh. That is my personal opinion on that. Maybe it's going to be Grey Knight, maybe it is going to be Blood Angels, but right now, I think with the Lion returning, with everything that's happening in the narrative, the Dark Angels are bang on to get that range refresh. Anyway, that is enough waffling from me, as always. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this video. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, would you love a new Belial model? Would you want a Dark Angel range refresh? If you've watched my spoiler video I mentioned the other day, by the way, a lot of people have questions. I think I'm going to do like a part 2 to that because there's so many questions I keep seeing about people asking me about Cypher, what's the Lion doing now, etc., etc. So hopefully I can answer a few more stuff around that, a few more stuff around possibly the future narrative, because I want to really do a video on that now, because this is really getting the furnace going in me, because there's so much potential we could have for 10th edition. The Tyranids is just one layer. It's like we are like onion level of 40k lore. There's multiple layers in this, and the Tyranids just seem to be the top layer for now. Anyway, enough waffling. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. See ya. Have a great day, and bye-bye.